What's going on? It's Fresh Cuts Podcast. I know things are looking a little different right now. I'm currently doing this from the house right now. I know this is different from our lobby setup. And of course, you see that Wes is not here right now. He's currently on vacation. And I know it sounds a little funny right now because I was a little under the weather and beginning this week. Luckily, I'm doing good right now. So just bear with me. And looking forward to doing this episode. Like I said, trying something new out, a little different out. But we're going to jump right into it. Let's start off with one of the hottest topics this week is the biggest snub probably ever in sports Hall of Fame history, and the NFL Hall of Fame snubbing Bill Belichick from the Pro Football Hall of Fame as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Bill Belichick, who has won 8 Super Bowls in total, and 6 with the Patriots and 2 as an assistant head coach, which is just crazy. He's got the most postseason playoff wins in all of history, and he's second in all-time winnings behind Don Shula. And he's not first ballot. He's pretty much first in every category except all-time wins, and he's not first ballot. And everybody I have seen has thought that was insane. I totally agree. I know I saw some articles where the people who were casting the ballots were saying that, this guy pretty much said, "Hey, we should uh give this guy a 1-year kind of, I don't know, suspension for, the Spygate, Deflategate, whatever. So you're going to put him in next year? I mean, that means he's still going to get in. Well, I mean, what's the point? You actually bring in more light of the light and more of the heat to yourselves. I mean, you're actually messing yourself up by doing this. I've heard nothing bad about Bill in this part. I've heard only bad things about people coming on to people who have the power of the casting the vote. And so I think it's just absolutely insane that he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think the Hall of Fame, and I think this is going to be a good thing. I think the Hall of Fame needs to reevaluate their voting criteria. I know that me being a huge Panthers fan, Luke Kuechly was on the ballot last year to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he didn't get in because I've heard a thing people calling it longevity. He didn't play long enough, but at the time that he did play, he was the best linebacker in the league. And it's like, when you're playing, if you're the best player at your position when you're playing, you need to be first ballot. Plain and simple. And so hopefully Luke gets in this weekend. I think this weekend they're doing the MVP and the award ceremony. And I think this weekend that they will release the new class coming up. So hopefully he's in it. I think also you got guys like Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald. So expect those names to be first ballot Hall of Famers. But I just still think this is insane. And I know everybody's been talking about it. So next subject on the list for this episode, I want to go over a lot of the crazy coaching hires. There was about 10 positions open this year, and 2 are not filled yet. The 2 that have not been filled yet is Arizona and Las Vegas. They're still looking for their coach. But right now, I'm going to go kind of through the list of coaches that have been hired. And please comment below if you think that if your team or one of these teams have improved or not improved. First off, I'm starting off with is the Giants, John Harbaugh. I think this is a great hire for the Giants. I do. John Harbaugh is a Super Bowl champion with the Ravens. He's well experienced, has playoff experience. And what I get the most from John Harbaugh is a locker room guy. He is a player's coach, and this is what you want from a almost dysfunctional kind of locker room that the Giants have been on a losing streak, but ever since they had that 1 year with Saquon and Daniel Jones. where they went to the playoffs and they beat Minnesota in the first round, but they've been going downhill. And getting a guy like this can completely bring new energy. He still needs to fill out his staff, um, but I think this is a good hire. I do. Next, Pittsburgh Steelers get Mike McCarthy, old Dallas Cowboys coach, old Green Bay Packers coach. I think that this is kind of a bland hire. Not saying that this is a terrible hire, and not saying that this is a great hire. Mike Tomlin was a great coach and still is a great coach and will definitely go in the Hall of Fame. He's never had a losing season. And so are the Pittsburgh Steelers going to regret this? Are the fans going to regret this from winning all the time? Is winning all the time such a bad thing? I guess, they just want Super Bowls all the time. But I mean, it can't happen. So, but it's just I just don't see it. I think the offense will get better. I do think Mike McCarthy is a good offensive coach, but you're not really starting over. You're not really going to rebuild. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers do need to rebuild. They got some of the most money on the defensive side with TJ Watt and Cam Hayward. I mean, it's one of the most expensive defenses and oldest defenses in the league. And they really didn't get anything going. And then also you got the oldest player in the league as your quarterback. And they're talking about bringing him back, having the Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers thing going on. And I'm thinking, you're going to bring back the same team with Mike McCarthy and you wanted Mike Tomlin gone. It just doesn't make sense to me. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Next off, Tennessee Titans, they get Robert Saleh, the defensive coordinator from the 49ers. I do think this is a good hire. I think this kind of gives Robert Saleh a fresh start. We all know that he was the Jets head coach. That was his first head coaching position. This gives him a fresh head start with a good rookie quarterback in Cam Ward. I really like Cam Ward. I think if he can get a good offensive coordinator to grow along with Cam Ward and let him focus on defense, I think the Titans could be something 2-3 years down the road. Next up, Baltimore Ravens. They hire Jesse Minter, who was the Chargers defensive coordinator. Chargers did have a really good defense this year. Like you said, but you lost John Harbaugh, but they're kind of starting a little younger. Not sure who their offense coordinator is yet to work with Lamar Jackson, but he does have experience there in Baltimore. But this is a new head coach. With this is first time being a head coach in the NFL, so it's going to be interesting to see with any first time head coach. You know, will they be great like a Liam Cohen this year for the Jaguars, or do you fall on your face? You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, but that's how it is. And there's going to be pressure going into this job. These people, with the Ravens fans, they're not just going to wait around and just suck for 2-3 years and be like, we'll give them time to suck. And so, or we'll give them time to rebuild. Or now you got guys on that team that are Pro Bowlers and and a lot of talent on the team right now. They're expecting high expectations for Jesse Minter right now. So, be on the look for that. Next up is the Atlanta Falcons, Kevin Stefanski, the former Cleveland Browns coach. He is reuniting with Kirk Cousins. He was also the offense coordinator with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota before he went to Cleveland. The thing about Kevin Stefanski is he's been like a 2-time coach of the year with the Cleveland Browns, taking the Browns to the playoffs, which is I mean, you gotta give him some credit for that. But he's also had some mismanagement with the whole Watson situation and Sanders situation. And he's an offensive guy, but the past 2 years, the offense has looked terrible in Cleveland. And the defense has been great. And so you go to an Atlanta team that has good talent, Bijan Robinson, Drake London. Maybe you sign Kyle Pitts back this offseason in free agency. But you don't have a first round pick this year. Your salary cap is a little iffy. Can you get this offense going? Can you be that, that step in that division with the Panthers and the Buccaneers and the Saints coming up? This division now in the NFC South is really competitive now. You got young coaches and young teams, coming up together. And so he's going to have a tough time down there. Next off is the Miami Dolphins with Jeff Havley. He was the Packers defensive coordinator last year. This is also his first head coaching, first time being a head coach in the NFL. So, like I just said about Jesse Minter, is this going to be a huge flop, or are you going to be able to, you know, progressively move in the right direction and build the team you want to build? He's got a tough decision with the whole Tua situation. Do you keep Tua? Do you get rid of him? There's a cap hit if you do get rid of him. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes with that, how he builds in the draft. Does he draft his quarterback, or does he get somebody in free agency? Do you stick with a quarterback there? And so those are tough decisions. I mean, you see that the Dolphins are rebuilding. New GM, new head coach. They're in rebuild mode. And so when you're usually in rebuild mode, you got to go and get your guy. You got to say, hey, this is our guy. You maybe want to look at a guy like Ty Simpson out of Alabama. This is not the best quarterback draft. Next year is a really good quarterback draft. But you got to go get your guy. You got to say, hey, this is our guy that we're building with. And so he's going to have a tough time down there, but this is his golden opportunity. Also, next up is the Cleveland Browns. They just hired Todd Monken. This will be his first time being a head coach. He was the Ravens offensive coordinator last year. He's going in a really tough position. And nobody really wanted to be the head coach of the Browns. There's a lot, you got the whole Deshaun situation. They got Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel. The DC wanted a job. Shorts, he wanted a job, and he got mad. He left, so you just kind of lost your DC. And so this is going to be tough for him. This is going to be real tough for him. It's going to be, something to see with the whole quarterback. Do you get your own quarterback now? Do you say no to Deshaun? Do you say no to Shador Sanders? So he's going to have an uphill battle. It's going to be really tough for him. And next off, this is the most shocking one. This is one of the head scratchers that when I saw the breaking news, I was like, okay, that's a little bit too much. Was the Bills. The Bills, they fired McDermott. They stay in-house, and they just bump up Joe Brady, who was offense coordinator for the Bills last year. And you are going younger, but you had a guy in McDermott who was taking you to the playoffs every year. Yes, you didn't make the Super Bowl, but it's hard to make the Super Bowl. It is. There's been teams that have never made the Super Bowl, and there's a lot of teams that have never won the Super Bowl. And so, you got the Patriots still in the Super Bowl. So it's tough to get there. And yes, you got Josh Allen, and you should get there. But Bills fans, just because you got Joe Brady doesn't mean, okay, we got our guy, we're good to go. Super Bowl, here we come. No. That's not how it works. This is his first time being a head coach too. And you don't have that experience. You have to work your way up. You have to gain the trust of the locker room. You have to be the leader now. You were just up in the booth with your little play sheet and you were just doing everything. You got to be a leader now. You have to be managing the punt team, making sure clock management, making sure that the play calls right, and make sure the referee is good. Make sure you don't miss a bad call and you have to challenge it, or somebody goes out of bounds. It's going to be more on your plate than just calling plays. So that's where I stand with the whole coaching situation in the NFL right now. Like I said, there's two jobs still open with the Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders. But like I said, those two, the same thing with those organizations. I think they're in a rebuild mode right now. Uh, but uh, it's just going to be very uh, interesting to see next year with the NFL with so many new coaches and new places. There's some coaches, with the new teams surprise people, or do you kind of see that the guys who are like the Kyle Shanahans or the Sean McVays or the guys that have been there for a while just keep on just taking over? And so it's going to be very, very cool to see next year and very just to keep your eye out on. Um, I'm kind of going to wrap it up right there. Me and Wes are going to be back next week. I promise we're going to be back next week in the same lobby studio where we do all our recordings at. It's going to sound a whole lot better too. I'll be back to 100%, and we're going to break down the Super Bowl next week. Big game, Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots. You got Seattle with it they just look like a great team. They just look like a complete team. The offense was rolling like crazy against the Rams. JSN, Cooper Kupp, Sam Darnold, Kenneth Walker looked really great. That defense looks phenomenal. And then on the other side, you got the Patriots, Drake May, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Keyshawn Booty. That offense was looking good, but that defense for the Patriots is looking real good. They got extreme good talent on that defense. Mike Vrabel is a great coach. He's gotten those guys right where you want them. And so I'm excited. I hope everybody is excited. I know it's kind of not everybody's favorite teams. I know a lot of people are not Patriots fans. If you are a Patriots fan, you're back to it. You're back on top. But it's going to be a great game. I know a lot of people got Super Bowl parties out there. So next week, me and Wes are going to break it down, and we're going to go right in depth to it, get you ready for the Super Bowl. And so when you're at your Super Bowl party, you can be talking with all your friends, breaking the game down, and being prepared. I just want to say thank you for everybody watching. Uh, and I want to make sure and give a shout out to West Long Beach Barbershop, everybody that supports us, all our clients, all our friends, and our family members. I want to say a huge thank you, and please share. Please go subscribe, comment, like, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fresh Cuts Podcast. Make sure you go follow us on Instagram. We're working on other platforms right now. And also after the Super Bowl, it's a weekly podcast. We're still going to be doing it, a weekly podcast. And so we're going to be talking about, I'm a huge NASCAR fan. We're going to be down in NASCAR, college basketball. March Madness is right around the corner too. We're going to dive into that. And for all the big golf fans, we're going to be talking about Masters, big tournaments coming up, baseball coming up, hockey, NBA. So please stay tuned. We appreciate all the support, and I want to say thank you, and we'll see you next week.